Hi, Wilshire Avenue community. How are you doing? Well, I would like to share with you what God's been doing here in Guatemala, and I would like to go back to sharing with you how I started serving as a missionary here in Guatemala. My name is Laura Kadera, and many of you probably know my parents, Mike and Sandy Kadera, because they've been your missionaries for the past maybe like 40 years. So you guys know them pretty well. And so, like I said, I've been serving as a missionary like my parents for the past 10 years. And I just like to share with you how this started, this journey. Well, like I told you guys, I grew up as a missionary kid in Guatemala City with my parents. And I always saw them serving. I always saw them reaching out to the poor. I saw them at church, being involved and leading and sharing. And I always saw that, and that was really a great example for me. But growing up, I never thought about being a missionary. I just thought I would go to college, get a job, and work, and just do the normal thing. And so, as I began to, go to college, I studied psychology, and this is a Pacific university, and so I began to want to help people and help and I graduated there with my bachelor's in psychology, and I worked at a group home. I worked at a Boys and Girls Club. I was always wanting to help people, and that was my heart, and I know it came from my parents, wanting to help people. And so when I was working at the Boys and Girls Club in San Francisco, I had the opportunity. I was given the opportunity to be part of a discipleship program in Roseville, California, called the Rock Global Internship. It was called back then, and I decided to go. At first, I didn't really want to go. I fought it a lot with my dad. My dad was the one that presented it to me, and I was like, no, I don't need that. Then I realized I really needed it. I really needed to have my own relationship with the Lord. I really always was trying to receive God's love. I was not living in freedom. I was always trying to receive it and try to earn God's love. And so I was always getting frustrated when I made mistakes. And so decided to go to this discipleship program in Roseville, California. And it really changed my life. The Lord healed a lot of parts of my heart that needed to be healed from a lot of things that happened in my life. I began to know who I am in the Lord, began to understand my gifts, and I understand just a lot of different things that I didn't know. And I began to, understand that we're saved by grace. There's nothing I can do to receive that love from Him. And so I just was free. I felt free walking with the Lord without that being scared that I was gonna be scolded by the Lord, or I would see Him up there like this with the finger, and so I just, God did a big thing in my life. Began to memorize scripture and just things that you need to do, to grow spiritually. So then, while I was in the program, one of a young man who was in the program was from Guatemala. He went back to Guatemala and opened up the same program there, and he just really saw how that changed his life. So he wanted to see a lot of other people's lives change down in Guatemala, young people. And so he opened it up, and so I decided, wow, I always wanted to go back. Like when I for a few years back, I wanted to go back to Guatemala and serve. Because after graduating from high school and going to college in California, I always wanted to go back. I knew that Guatemala was my home, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So God began to confirm things and began to put the pieces together. And so, I decided to finish my 2 years of the discipleship program there at the Rock of Roseville. And I came back to Guatemala, and 15 days later, I was serving full-time as a missionary. And I told them I would do anything, just put me to do anything. I'm here to serve. So I lived in the houses with our disciples. I drove the van, drove them to classes and back. I went into all the activities they were doing. And I was basically a house parent in the house. So they called me mom, which is something they call me still currently from generation to generation. I've been called mom, and so I've been doing cookies for them and just being there like a mom. Then after like a year or so, I began doing administration work for them, and of course continue with the counseling of our disciples. We try to call them disciples because that's what they are here. And so that's how I got to this program called Destino, and it's with Verbo Church here in Guatemala, Verbo Ministries. And so let me tell you all about it. So this is, let me see. This is our group of students from last year. We had them from Costa Rica, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Mexico, and Guatemala. So we had a big variety of students there. I want to share with you before we continue what our mission, our vision and mission is. So our vision is to be a generation of disciples of Christ that show a lifestyle inspired by the Holy Spirit with a personal and passionate relationship with Jesus. And our mission is to introduce change through practical Bible-based training in a spiritual family environment with the development of skills and spiritual gifts for the purpose of manifesting the kingdom of God in the church community and in the world. So basically, what we want to do is we want to raise up a generation of young people to love God with all their hearts, to go back to their communities and make a difference, to go back to the communities and share what God has done in their lives, to be different, And we do it by a Bible-based training, And so that's what it is. This is our leadership group. The directors are Edwin and Krista Lopez. So they are in charge of everything. They're there 24 hours for our disciples, because since they live with us, not with us, but they live in our houses that we have. And so we're basically responsible for them, even though they're young adults. They're already graduated from high school. They're 18 to like 25 to 30-year-olds. So this is Paulo and Anita Jumang and their son Santi. They are the pastors of the church that covers us, that are covering our Verbo Church, and Jacob, my son, my 5-year-old son. So this is our leadership junior, our future leaders. And these are all it's our team of instructors who give their time voluntarily to disciple too, to impart to them knowledge, to impart to them a lot of different things. Like we have a Bible memory class. They memorize the word. We are going through Alpha program. We're going through INSTE, which is like a theological program, which if they do their 2 years, they get like a degree. They are going through a program where they learn who they are, their gifts. We're also working with the Supernatural School Ministry of Bethel. So we go through that program. They do missions program with my dad. They go out and they pray for people. They go to hospitals, and they go to retirement homes too. And so we have a just big variety of things that can help them in their lives as a whole. So that's our team. We love them so much, and we're grateful for the free time they give to us and to our disciples. So this is our housing. We had, but I'll tell you what's going on now recently. 3 houses, two for the girls and 1 for the boys. And it's in a neighborhood where the pastor of the church lives. So we have them, at least somebody there in case of an emergency. This is the university they go and have their classes at. The university gives us 2 classrooms that we can use. And the church, Verbo Church, is over here, where we also have classrooms they can use. This is the local church, Verbos 09, worship time. That's where they go and they serve and they are involved as much as they can. This is our bus we were able to purchase a few years ago, and it's been a blessing. So it fits about 28 people, so it's been a blessing because we used to have one that fit 15, and they were crammed in there. So the cost of the program is that each kid has to, the family or they can raise money. So they have to pay $220 a month from January to November, and that includes all their classes, all their housing, their food, everything. The parents just have to send them money for their toiletries and their little extra expenses, you know. The length of the program is 2 years. So they go through 1 year. Their second year, 1 year is more like inner healing and just a lot of God showing them who they are. Second year, that continues, but we do more of a leadership program where we teach them how to lead their first years and a lot of, it's intense, you know, so they can learn that. And the program began in 2009, and I started in 2010 helping out there in the program. So we've been going for a while. We have more than like 120 students that have graduated from the program. So it's been a blessing. And so this is our picture of all the flags representing in the program: Nicaragua, El Salvador, Mexico, Costa Rica, Guatemala. So yeah, fun picture. And this is our current new group of students this year. We have 27 from all over. Like I said, this year we have 4 students from a beach town like far away in Nicaragua. It's a very low income community, and so for them to come to this program, it's been a blessing for them, and they are very grateful, and we're so happy we got them with us. And so this is, let me put this down here. This is our first years, and during our first retreat of the year, they signed their commitment to the program, a commitment to follow the rules, the guidelines, and just their commitment to follow Christ. And so that's that. And what I usually do, part of my work with the program, besides the administration and the counseling, I take the girls out on dates. So I take them, we go drink coffee, ice cream, and then we go to my house, we watch movies, and I just love it because I get to cook for them and I get to let them rest and not have to do anything, because when they're in the houses, they have to clean and cook, and they have to be busy and not rest much. And so this is part of what I do. I enjoy. And then the fun part of our programs is to see our disciples getting baptized, praying for one another. Of course, our fellowship time. See, we have a lot of time spent together on the table, and this is, what part of a community is, a discipleship, where you're alongside somebody and you help them in their process, you help them in different aspects of their lives. And so fellowship is a big part of it, and they have so much fun together. And of course, our main focus of the program is to deal with their character issues, to deal with what's going on in your life. Why do you act a certain way? And they go through a lot of healing. And so that's the main focus of our program. And because, having a Christian with bad character does not represent well Jesus. So it's good to have somebody that walks with the Lord with character that represents him. So that's that. And then our second years doing their servant leadership, cleaning and painting the houses before their first years came. So they do a lot of serving their first years, and they learn that during the program. These are our classrooms at the university. This is a teaching time at a retreat with our pastor. So they receive a lot of teachings that help them grow. And this is our worship times. And so now let me tell you all about what's going on now with the program. So as you know, this whole pandemic situation, COVID, has led us to have to send our disciples home because it was too much of our responsibility to have them here. We couldn't have a certain amount of people at once in one place. And the president put a lot of restrictions on us here in the country for the past 4 months. And so we sent them home. It was a little sad, but we decided we had to do that. But we continued the classes online. And so they have their same schedule as they did here over there, but online. And so what's been more challenging for us, and I'll talk about it later, is doing the counseling. Our mission, part of our main focus is to make disciples, and to make a disciple far away, it's really difficult, because their internet may not be working, or they don't answer, or they get discouraged, and so it's hard. So it's one of the challenges that we've had. And so that's how it's been. So this is one of our classes we have a week with them, the leadership, called Character. And in the States it was called Fathering class. So like I said, one of our challenges for now is online discipleship. It's been a bit challenging, but we need to learn about it. Everybody's learning about it, how to teach, how to do counseling online. All the psychologists and psychiatrists, gotta go back, are doing. So we're gonna be learning that, and we decided to finish our year online, just because the president is still little by little taking off restrictions, and it all depends on how the cases and stuff, and how things continue. A lot of people have lost their jobs, so it's sad, but God is in control, and that everything works for the good. So also our next year plans are, right now we're in the midst of trying to decide what we're going to do. The director and the pastor are covering. They're going to present our new plan to the council, and then see what they say. One of our plans is to have second year come back to the houses and do their second year at the houses, and then have first year do their program online and just get more training on how to disciple them far away. And there's also, the council could pause the program for a whole year and then continue the year after. So just pray that the council will decide correctly, decide a way that will, be going and doing God's will, that we want to do God's will. So that's the thing. And then also, challenges have been for me having, Jacob home every day and being with him online in classes and cleaning and cooking and working. And so I continue to do the the work for Destino here at home. I go out once in a while to banks to do payments and stuff. And so it's been a little, challenging. So it's been a challenge, but it's been fun. I thank God for all these opportunities that He's given me to be with Jacob. And like I said, the present situation of the pandemic here is that little by little restrictions are coming off because the economy has to start again. A lot of people lost their jobs because the public transportation was prohibited to go out, so a lot of people couldn't get to their jobs and they lost their jobs. There's a lot of people dying of hunger, a lot of people dying of COVID, more than 1,000 cases daily. So it's just, it's been sad, but like I said, God works for the good of those who love Him, and we have to trust Him and just continue to pray. We've already had one of our graduating students pass away because of COVID. He was 26 years old, and he was back in Honduras at his home, and he got it, and he passed away. And a couple grandparents of our disciples passed away, and so it's getting closer to home. So we need prayer for that, and that the president will have wisdom to know what to do and at what time and everything. And so, I would like to share with you guys a few pictures of mom life at home. Like you can see, Jacob, he started learning piano this year with the municipal Muni here, and he continues his classes online. Ever since the pandemic started and we had to stay home, they sent us a lot of stuff for him to work on, and so now he has the classes online on Zoom, and he's enjoying learning piano. So it's fun to watch. And then we see him doing his numbers with Play-Doh with his classes online, and then us going out with our masks, which is already part of our lives now. We have to go out with our mask, or here we get fined if we don't have it on. So I think it's going to be just normal now life to be wearing our masks, but we just thank God that we're healthy. And I thank God for all these moments He gives me with Jacob. And so that's that. And the prayer request I would like you guys to be praying is, like I said, for the current pandemic situation here, that God will give the president wisdom, and that God will provide for all those people in need, and that that people will be able to go back to work. The bus systems are starting to open up, so they're starting to go to work, so that's good. And so just that God will continue to keep us healthy and safe. And then also please pray for our future plans for the program. And like I said, that God will give wisdom to the council to decide what to do. Then continue to pray for me for patience and strength as I continue to be at home with Jacob and doing all I need to do, for continued health, and wisdom to know how to counsel online our disciples, which is something that we've been trying to do, calling them, doing video calls once a month, and writing to them constantly to see how they're doing, and just walk alongside them even far away. So just pray for that, and just pray for continued financial support, that God will continue to provide for my needs, mine and Jacob's needs, as we continue to serve Him here and do what God has called me to do. And so thank you so much for all your prayers and support. God bless you greatly, and God give you peace in the midst of this time. I know you've probably been inside in your house for so long and just desperate, but just hold on to His hand and just know He's always there for you. We're not alone. He's always talking to you constantly and showing you His love. And before I end, I also want to just share with you a couple testimonies of our disciples as they're at home. Well, I was talking to one of my disciples. Her name is Valeska, and she was telling me how God was working in her life, working with her dad, healing stuff between her dad, even if she's far there, far from the program. God is doing stuff. She, a lot of them sharing how God has been uniting their family through this, how many have been doing things on their social media, blessing people since they can't go out. Well, let's see how God can use us. And so our first year's disciples, they decided to open up a page on Instagram called Bonds of Love. If you want to follow it, it's called Bonds of Love. And they just share different messages of encouragement to people. And they decided to do a youth group. So there was like 60 people, more than 60 people signed on in this youth group, and they led it. And so that is just a blessing. And we're so happy to hear this, even in the midst, even if they're not here with us, we know God continues to work in them, and there's a plan for this. God knew it from the very beginning, and God knew it from the very beginning that we would all be in this situation. So let's trust in Him. And I'm going to tell you this verse before I end. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. And that is my prayer to you. And if you would like to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, well, here's the information. Facebook is Destino Discipulado Intensivo, and Instagram is Destino Discipulado. And if you would like to contact me and know more about what we're doing, my email is lauracadera@gmail.com. And thanks again for all your prayers and support. Love you, Wilshire Avenue community. And I send my love all the way from Guatemala. Take care.